There are a lot of situations in English in which we're discussing a topic, we're talking about something, suddenly the words that we want to say next about the topic go clean out of our mind. We completely forget them. What should we exactly do in such a situation? I know it's really embarrassing, isn't it? Especially when there are people standing in front of you, sitting right in front of you, listening to you. There are a lot of eyes locked on you and focused on you, looking at you. Then suddenly you're not capable of continuing the conversation as a result of not remembering the words that you wanted to say next. Well, in such a situation, you can take advantage of the following idiomatic expressions that I have provided for you in today's video to be able to continue your conversation and to, let some time pass and get spent with the purpose of gathering your thoughts, regaining your concentration, and be able to continue your conversation and take it a step further. So now let's focus on these phrases. The first English phrase that you can use and take advantage of when you do not remember what you want to say next is, if my memory serves me right. If my memory serves me right. Once again, if my memory serves me right. If my memory serves me right means if I remember things correctly. If I remember correctly. An example of this phrase. If my memory serves me right, I saw him at the conference last year. If my memory serves me right, I saw him at the conference last year. Which means, if I remember things correctly, I saw him at the conference last year. What a beautiful phrase, right? You can say, if my memory serves me right, when you're talking about something, you're busy discussing something suddenly for no obvious reasons, for one reason or another, what you want to say next is completely forgotten by you, goes clean out of your mind, and you're not able to remember the words that you wanted to say next. They go clean out of your mind. Then in such a situation, in order to let some time pass, you can say, if my memory serves me right, well, if my memory serves me right, then continue the conversation. Now we get to the second phrase that we can use and take advantage of or turn to our advantage when the words that we want to use or say are forgotten by us or go clean out of our mind, or we're not able to remember what we want to say next, which is to the best of my recollection. To the best of my recollection. To the best of my recollection, which means if I remember things correctly, or if I'm not remembering wrong, or if I'm remembering things accurately. In other words, to the best of my recollection is pretty similar to if my memory serves me right. An example. To the best of my recollection, your sister was a doctor. To the best of my recollection, your sister was a doctor, right? So, up to this point, you've learned two phrases that you can use when you forget what you want to say next, or when you forget your next words, next sentences, next topics, ideas, or when you forget something that you wanted to say next, right in the middle of your conversation, with the purpose of letting some time pass in order to remember your thoughts, gather them, and regain your concentration. So one of these phrases was, if my memory serves me right, and the second was, to the best of my recollection. Now, are you ready for the third one, which is, to the best of my memory? This one is exactly similar to the best of my recollection, but we're just replacing the word recollection with memory. To the best of my memory. An example. To the best of my memory, your name was Sarah. To the best of my memory, your name was Sarah, which means if I remember correctly and accurately, your name was Sarah, right? And now we got to get to the fourth English phrase used when you want to let some time pass with the purpose of regaining your concentration to be able to remember things in order to continue your conversation or the sentences that you want to say next, which is, my memory is playing tricks on me. My memory is playing tricks on me. Once again, my memory is playing tricks on me, which means, oh, I'm not able to remember things right now, but I'm just, trying hard to remember things, or I'm struggling, to remember things. So right now, I can't remember what I want to say, but I need some time to remember them. I need some time to remember things, or whatever it was that I wanted to say. So my memory is playing tricks on me. Pretty similar to if my memory serves me right, or to the best of my recollection, or to the best of my memory. An example of this phrase. I know your age, but right now my memory is playing tricks on me. I know your age, but right now my memory is playing tricks on me. Once again, I know your age, but right now my memory is playing tricks on me, which means I know your age, I know what it is, I know how old you are, but unfortunately right now I can't remember it exactly because, it's gone out of my mind and I'm not able to remember it accurately and exactly, so I need some time to think and remember your age. So I know your age, but right now my memory is playing tricks on me. The fifth English phrase that you can use when you have difficulty remembering things right in the middle of your conversation while discussing something is as far as I remember. As far as I remember. As far as I remember, which means as far as I can remember, to the best of my recollection, to the best of my memory, if my memory serves me right. An example, as far as I remember, we discussed several topics yesterday. As far as I remember, we discussed several topics yesterday, which means to the best of my recollection, to the best of my knowledge, if my memory serves me right, we discussed several topics, several things yesterday, right? Now we get to the sixth English phrase used to fill the gap between the two words that you want to say in English or the two sentences that you're trying to make while speaking English, especially when you forget words or you're not able to remember them, which is, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, which means if I'm saying things accurately, if I'm saying things correctly, if I'm saying things, as precisely as I should be. An example of this phrase. Well, if I'm not mistaken, you live in London, right? Well, if I'm not mistaken, you live in London, right? Which means if I remember correctly and accurately, to the best of my recollection, to the best of my memory, as far as I know, as far as I remember, you live in London, right? Which means this is what I can remember, but I'm not sure whether I'm remembering it correctly and accurately or not. And now we get to the seventh phrase of today's video, which happens to be the last phrase of today's video that you can use to emphasize that there is something that you want to say which you do not remember, which you've forgotten or has gone clean out of your mind, and you need some time to remember it, to be able to say it, which is, I could be wrong, but I could be wrong, but I could be wrong, but an example. I think you know how to speak, I could be wrong, but 2 languages, right? I think you know how to speak, I could be wrong, but 2 languages, right? Once again, I think you know how to speak, I could be wrong, but 2 languages, right? Which means I'm not sure exactly, but to the best of my recollection, to the best of my memory, as far as I can remember, or if my memory serves me right, you know how to speak 2 languages. I'm not sure exactly how many languages, but 2 languages. I'm not sure about the exact number of the languages that you're capable of speaking, you can speak, but I can guess that the number is 2. I can guess you can speak 2 languages. And that's about all, guys. You can take advantage of these phrases, mentioned in today's video in order to let some time pass to be able to remember what you want to say next. When you've lost your train of thought, or when you do not remember things clearly or accurately, or when there's something that you wanted to say but unfortunately or suddenly and unexpectedly it went out of your mind and you don't know how to say it or you don't remember it. Let's review these phrases once again together. If my memory serves me right. If my memory serves me right. If my memory serves me right. To the best of my recollection. To the best of my recollection. To the best of my recollection. To the best of my memory. To the best of my memory. To the best of my memory. My memory is playing tricks on me. My memory is playing tricks on me. My memory is playing tricks on me. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. As far as I can remember. As far as I can remember. As far as I can remember. I could be wrong, but I could be wrong, but I could be wrong, but... And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of this channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon. In today's video, I'm going to be focusing your attention on some practical action verbs that you can use and take advantage of in English to describe where things are or provide a more in-depth or in detailed description of where things are located or where something is or lies. Are you ready? Of course you are, so make sure you watch this video to the very end. The first English verb that we can use to describe the location of something or where something lies is to protrude from something. To protrude from something. When one thing protrudes from another, it sticks out from it. So to protrude from something means to stick out from something. Now I want to provide you with a visual example of this verb to see how you can use it and what it exactly means. The wires protruded from the wall. The wires protruded from the wall, which means the wires stuck out from the wall. The wires stuck out from the wall. So this photo that you can see here is a perfect example of one thing protruding from another thing. As you can see in the photo, the wires are protruding from the wall, right? So this is the meaning of protruding from something. One thing protruding from something. Now we get to the next English action verb that you can use to say where something is located or where something lies, which is to perch on something. To perch on something. To perch on something means to sit or rest on something lightly, or to sit or rest on the edge of something. Let me provide you with a visual example of this verb used in a sentence. Look at this photo. According to this photo, a cat is perching on a windowsill. A cat is perching on a windowsill, which means a cat is resting or is sitting lightly on a windowsill, or the cat is actually sitting or resting on the edge of the window. So, to perch on something means to sit or rest on something lightly, in the same way as this cat is, as you can see in the photo. Alright, now we get to the third practical English action verb that, if you know, you can provide a better or a more detailed or in-depth description of where things are or where something is, which is to dangle from something. To dangle from something. To dangle from something means to hang loosely from something. Once again, to dangle from something means to hang loosely from something. Now let me give you an example of this sentence in the form of a photo to help you gain a better understanding of this action verb. I saw monkeys dangling from tree branches. I saw monkeys dangling from tree branches, which means I saw monkeys hanging from tree branches, as you can see in this photo, right? According to the photo, there are some monkeys hanging from the tree branches, right? Which means they're dangling from the tree branches. So when you dangle from something, you hang loosely from something. Exactly as these monkeys are in the photo. Alright, now we're proceeding to the next English action verb to provide an in-depth or in detailed description of where something is, which is to lean on or against something. To lean on or against something. When someone or something leans on or against something, when a person or a thing leans on or against something, it rests at an angle against or on that thing. Let me provide you with a visual example of a sentence in which lean on or against is used to gain a better understanding. As you can see in this photo, the ladder is leaning on the wall. In this photo, the ladder is leaning on the wall, which means the ladder is resting at an angle against the wall or on the wall. Now we're getting to the next English action verb that you can use to describe the location of something, which is to abut something. To abut something. Once again, to abut something. But what does it mean when one thing abuts another? Well, when something abuts another, it borders or touches or lies directly next to something, especially in terms of land, buildings, or structures. So when we say a building abuts another building, it means a building touches or borders or lies directly next to another building. So when one thing in English abuts another, it borders or touches or lies directly next to another thing. An example of this phrase in the form of a photo. As you can see, the property abuts the city park. As you can see in the photo, the property abuts the city park, which means the property touches the city park. The property borders the city park, or the property lies directly next to the city park. So, to abut something means to be right next to something, to touch something, to border something, or lie directly next to something. Now we get to the next practical English action verb that you gotta know to be able to provide a more in-depth or detailed description of where something is or where something lies, which is to lodge in something. You can also use the preposition between, to lodge in or between something. To lodge in or between something. When something lodges in something or lodges between two things, it gets stuck there. It gets stuck between two things, or it gets stuck in something, or it gets firmly positioned in something or between two objects. So to lodge between two things means to get stuck between two things, or to be positioned firmly between two things. Look at this photo that I have provided for you, and let me give you an example of this photo to help you gain a better understanding of this verb, to lodge in or between something. As you can see, a pebble means a very small piece of stone. A pebble is lodged in the shoelace. As you can see, a pebble is lodged in the shoelace, which means a pebble has got stuck or has been firmly positioned in the shoelace. Now we're proceeding to the next English action verb that you gotta know to be able to provide, a better description of something, a more in-depth or in detail description of something, which is to hover over or above something. To hover over or above something. When one thing hovers over or above another thing, it stays in the air over something, or it floats over something, or it is buoyant, it is in the air, it floats in the air, it stays in the air, or it floats in the air over something. So to hover above or over something means to stay in the air over something, or to float over something, or to fly over something. An example. According to this photo, the drone is hovering over the field. According to this photo, the drone is hovering over the field, which means the drone is staying in the air over the field, or the drone is floating above or over the field. And now we get to the final action verb of today's video that you can use to describe the location of something. Are you ready? Of course you are. To pin something against something. To pin something against something. When you pin something against something, you fasten or hold something in place against something. You push or press something against something. So to pin something against something means to fasten or hold something in place, usually by pushing it or by pressing it against something. Have a look at this photo. In this photo, the lady is pinning the note against the board. The lady is pinning the note against the board, which means the lady is holding or fastening the note in place against the board by pushing it or by pressing it against the board. So, the lady is holding or fastening the note by pushing or by pressing it against the board. And that's about all, guys. Now let's review all these action verbs once again together. To protrude from something. To protrude from something. To perch on something. To perch on something. To dangle from something. To dangle from something. To lean against or on something. To lean against or on something. To abut something. To abut something. To lodge in or between something. To lodge in or between something. To hover over or above something. To hover above or over something. To pin something against something. To pin something against something. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of your YouTube English teacher. Thank you for doing so, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video. If you can use the following idiomatic expressions that we're going to focus on in today's video, then your English is wonderful and awesome. Are you ready to focus on these idiomatic expressions? Of course you are, so let's get started. The first idiomatic expression is to be 6 feet under. To be 6 feet under. But what does it mean? Where do we use it and how is it used? To be 6 feet under means to be dead and buried. So when we use the expression of to be 6 feet under, we're trying to emphasize the fact that someone is dead and completely buried. Someone is gone. Someone no longer exists. Someone is not alive anymore and will never be alive again. Someone is completely dead and buried. To be 6 feet under. An example of this phrase. There is no point in worrying about what he said. He's been 6 feet under for years. There is no point in worrying about what he said. He's been 6 feet under for years, which means there is no point in worrying about what he said. He's dead and buried for years. He's not alive anymore. He's been dead for a couple of years. He's been 6 feet under for years. There's no point in worrying about what he said. Now we're getting to the next English idiom that if you know or if you can understand, your English is awesome and next level, which is to give someone up to speed. To give someone up to speed. When you give someone up to speed, you update someone on the recent events, or you provide someone with the latest update. You provide someone with the latest updates on what is happening so that they can have a better understanding of what they should do, what decisions they should make, and what's going on around them. So to give someone up to speed. An example of this phrase. Let me give you up to speed on the project before the meeting starts. Let me give you up to speed on the project before the meeting starts, which means let me provide you with all the recent updates on the project before the meeting starts. Now we get to the third English idiom that if you know, your English is awesome and next level, which is don't take that tone with me. Don't take that tone with me. Once again, hey, don't take that tone with me. But where do we use it? When do we use it? How is it used? Well, we use this idiomatic expression when someone is talking rudely to us, when someone is trying to speak with authority to us, when someone wants to exercise their authority in favor of themselves and against us, when someone wants to bully us, when someone is speaking rudely and aggressively to us and is behaving very disrespectfully towards us. By using this expression, we're telling them that they have no right to talk to us like that. They should be more polite to us. They gotta be behaving more politely, kindly, and respectfully towards us. Or they gotta be respectful to us. They gotta have respect for us. So by using the phrase, don't take that tone with me, we're emphasizing that someone should be polite to us, someone should be behaving respectfully and kindly towards us, and someone has no right at all to be behaving disrespectfully or aggressively towards us. Who is someone to tell us what to do, to talk to us with authority, to, want to impose what they want us to do on us, despite the fact that we don't want to do any of the things that they're asking us to. So don't take that tone with me emphasizes that someone has no right to speak rudely and impolitely to us, and someone should be very polite and nice to us if they want us to do what they want us to. An example of this phrase. I know you're upset, but don't take that tone with me. I'm just trying to help. I know you're upset, but don't take that tone with me. I know you're upset, but don't take that tone with me. I'm just trying to help. Which means, I know you're sad, you're upset, you're frustrated and disappointed, but you have no right to talk aggressively, rudely, and disrespectfully to me. You have no right to behave inappropriately, disrespectfully, and unkindly towards me. You have no right to do so. If you want to assert your authority by doing so, you have another thing coming. If you think you can assert your authority by doing so, you have another thing coming. If you think you can make me do things by behaving like that towards me, well, I think you better think twice. You're completely on the wrong track. So don't take that tone with me, which means make sure that you're talking politely, kindly, and courteously to me. Make sure you're talking respectfully to me. You can't make me do things. You can't make me do what you want me to by talking rudely, aggressively, and disrespectfully with me. Or by speaking, to me with authority in a way that you're better than me, you're superior to me. You have no right to do so. So don't take that tone with me. Now let's move to the next English idiom that you gotta know to be able to speak English at a much more advanced level, which is someone's bread and butter. Someone's bread and butter. But what does this phrase mean? What does it refer to? What is it trying to say? Someone's bread and butter refers to someone's source of income, someone's way of making money, someone's business, someone's job, the way someone makes money, or someone's source of income and money. An example of this phrase: the business of painting is his bread and butter, but he teaches yoga on the side. The business of painting is his bread and butter, but he teaches yoga on the side, which means his main source of income is painting houses, the business of painting, but he has the side hustle or the side income of teaching people yoga, or he makes some side money, some additional money by teaching yoga, which means his main source of income, his main business is painting houses and properties. He's a painter. His main source of income is by painting houses and properties. He gets paid primarily and mainly by painting houses. He has a business of painting. But in addition to painting, he makes money by teaching yoga. He has the side income of making money out of teaching people yoga, or running yoga classes, holding yoga classes. Now we get to the fifth English phrase of today's video that only those whose English is awesome and next level know, which is to go around in circles. To go around in circles. But what does this phrase mean? What does it mean when we say something goes around in circles? To go around in circles means to happen repeatedly, or to happen on a regular or repeated basis, often without making progress or reaching any important decision, or without achieving any significant result. So to go around in circles means to keep happening or to happen repeatedly, usually in a boring and fruitless way, usually in a way that no progress is made, no significant result is achieved, or no decision is made. An example of this phrase: we've been going around in circles. We need to make a decision already. We've been going around in circles. We need to make a decision already, which means we've been discussing things, talking about things repeatedly, but we haven't made any progress. We haven't achieved any significant result or been able to reach any decisions. The sixth phrase of today's video that those whose English is awesome or next level know how to use, or know what it means, which is I can work someone out. I can work someone out. When you say that you can't work someone out, it means you can't understand someone's behavior. You cannot make heads or tails of someone's behavior. You're not able to understand someone's behavior. You can't really figure out why someone is doing something. It's always been confusing to you why someone has been doing something, or why someone has been acting in a certain way or behaving, in a certain way. So when you say I can't work someone out, it means I don't understand why someone is behaving like that. An example of this phrase: he's friendly one minute and unfriendly the other. I can't work him out. He's friendly one minute and unfriendly the other. I can't work him out. Which means at one moment he's friendly, at another moment he's unfriendly. He is the exact opposite person. I can't really understand his behavior. I don't know why he's behaving like that. And now we get to the final phrase of today's video. that if you know, your English is awesome, which is to be all things to all people. To be all things to all people. Well, what does this phrase mean? To be all things to all people means to please everyone, to try to satisfy everyone, to be nice to everyone, to be suitable to everyone, to suit everyone's needs, expectations, desires, to live up to everyone's expectations, but usually in a way that failure is met with or no success is achieved or met with. So when you try to be all things to all people, you try to please and satisfy everyone and everything, usually in a way that you don't achieve success, but rather what you do leads to failure. An example of this phrase: a politician can be all things to all people. They have to take a stand. A politician can be all things to all people. They have to take a stand. A politician can be all things to all people. They have to take a stand, which means a politician is not able to satisfy or please everyone, is not able to live up to the expectations of everyone. You know, they have to take a stand. They have to have a certain viewpoint or perspective. They have to talk in favor of some things and against other things. They have to work in favor of some people and against others. So a politician cannot be all things to all people. A politician, is not able to satisfy or please everyone, is not able to meet their needs or live up to the expectations of everyone. They have to take a stand. They have to have a certain position which could work to the advantage of some and to the disadvantage of others, which could be in favor of some people and against others. And that's about all, guys. In today's video, we focused on 7 practical and everyday English idioms that you gotta learn, and I highly recommend that you use to be able to speak a more advanced English or take your English to the next level. Let's review these 7 phrases once again together. Be 6 feet under. Be 6 feet under. Give someone up to speed. Give someone up to speed. Don't take that tone with me. Don't take that tone with me. Go around in circles. Go around in circles. Someone's bread and butter. Someone's bread and butter. I can't work someone out. I can't work someone out. Be all things to all people. Be all things to all people. And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you support me, support your English teacher by liking this video, and thank you for doing so. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video. In today's video, we're going to focus on conversational English phrases commonly used by native speakers that you must learn to be able to speak English better or at a more advanced level. Are you ready to start learning these phrases? Of course you are, but before we do so, make sure you like this video in support of this channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So let's get started. The first English phrase that native speakers commonly use on a regular basis is "don't get smart with me." Don't get smart with me. Don't get smart with me. When do we use this idiom? What does it mean? Well, what does this idiom mean, and where do we exactly use it? Don't get smart with me is used in response to someone's behavior when you believe or feel that they're behaving towards you in a way that they're trying to deceive you, or they're trying to persuade you to do something smartly, or they're trying to take advantage of you. They're trying to be smart enough to take advantage of you or make you do things that they want you to, but you don't want to. So we can use "don't get smart with me" when we feel or believe that someone is behaving smartly towards us to take advantage of us and do something in favor of themselves and against us. An example of this phrase: I just asked you a simple question. Don't get smart with me. I just asked you a simple question. Don't get smart with me, which means I just asked you a simple question. Do not try to avoid answering the question. Don't get smart with me. The second English phrase commonly used by native speakers that you should learn and use too is "watch your mouth." Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. But what is the meaning of this phrase? Where do we use it? Watch your mouth is a phrase used to tell someone that they should speak politely. They should stop talking rudely or disrespectfully to you. They should talk nicely, kindly, and respectfully to you. So watch your mouth is used when someone is insulting you, using bad words, impolite and rude words while talking to you, or is used when someone is disrespecting you with offensive and rude words. You can simply say, hey, watch your mouth, which means, hey, stop insulting me, stop using bad words, stop saying rude and offensive words to me. Watch your mouth. An example of this phrase: you'd better watch your mouth when you talk to your teacher. You'd better watch your mouth when you talk to your teacher, which means you better be polite, you better be careful about how you speak, you better talk politely and respectfully when you talk to your teacher. Now we get to the third commonly used English phrase by native speakers that you gotta learn and use too, which is, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that is used to say that someone is right or someone was right about something. We use this phrase to emphasize that we were wrong and someone else was right, or to confirm that someone's behavior was right, someone's opinion was right, someone's idea was right, and someone was right about something. An example of this phrase: okay, he handled the situation well. I'll give you that. Okay, he handled the situation well. I'll give you that. Which means, okay, I admit, I accept that he handled the situation well. You were right. I'll give you that. I accept and admit that he handled the situation well. You were right. I'll give you that. Now we get to the fourth English phrase commonly used by native speakers that you gotta learn too and use too to speak like native speakers, which is, don't twist my words. Don't twist my words. But what does it mean when we say, don't twist my words? Don't twist my words is used to ask someone not to misinterpret your words, not to misinterpret what you said, not to change what you said, or not to get what you said wrong. In other words, don't twist my words is another way of saying, don't get me wrong. Don't misinterpret what I said. Don't change what I said. Try to say exactly what I said. Do not change it to anything else, or do not misinterpret what I said, or do not get me wrong. An example: I said that I didn't like the movie, not that I hated it. Don't twist my words. I said that I didn't like the movie, not that I hated it. Don't twist my words. I said that I didn't like the movie, not that I hated it. Don't twist my words. Which means, I just said I didn't like the movie. I didn't say that I hated it. I just said I didn't like it. Why did you misinterpret what I said? Why did you change my words? Why did you get me wrong? I just said I didn't like the movie. I didn't say I hated it. I just said I didn't like the movie. Not that I hated it. Don't twist my words. Alright, now we're proceeding to the next practical English phrase used by native speakers that you should use too, which is suit yourself. Suit yourself. Suit yourself. Suit yourself is used when we want to tell someone emphatically that they can go and do whatever they want, whatever they like and desire, even if we don't agree. This phrase is mainly used when we disagree with someone about something and they insist that they want to do something, although we completely disagree with them and with whatever it is that they want to do, but they insist that they want to do it. In such a situation, in such a case, we say, okay, suit yourself, which means go do whatever you like, go do whatever you want, despite the fact that I don't agree with you on it, or I don't want you to do it. An example of this phrase: if you don't want to come, suit yourself, which means if you don't want to come, that's all right. Just go do whatever you want. Go do whatever pleases you. Go do whatever you like, even if I don't agree. I want you to come, but if you don't want to come, suit yourself. The next conversational English phrase that you gotta learn, used by native speakers a lot, is let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Where do we use this? We use let's not go there when we want to emphasize that we don't want to discuss a topic again. We don't want to talk about something again because we've already talked about it repeatedly. We've already discussed it repeatedly in a boring way, or it is a sensitive topic. You know, it no longer interests us, or we don't want to talk about it because we believe talking about it is a waste of time and energy. We've already done so. We've already done it, we've already talked about it and gotten over, so there is no point in raising a topic or bringing up a topic that we've already discussed and gotten over with. So let's not go there is used when we want to ask someone not to bring up a topic or raise a topic that we have already talked about or discussed that we no longer want to talk about, because by doing so we're only wasting your time on something that will get us nowhere. An example of this phrase: don't bring up that argument again. Let's not go there. Don't bring up that argument again. Let's not go there, which means don't raise that topic again. Don't bring up that argument again. Let's not go there. Let's just stop discussing that topic repeatedly. We've already discussed it, gotten over with it, and there is no point in continuing the argument about that topic. Now we get to the next phrase that native speakers use, which you should too, which is give me a break. Give me a break. But what does it mean when we say give me a break? Give me a break is used when we want to emphasize that something that someone has said or has done has been stupid, ridiculous, meaningless, or unfair. Especially when they're exaggerating. We can say give me a break as a way of asking them to stop exaggerating, to stop being unfair or ridiculous, or talking about meaningless things. An example of this phrase: you think I did this on purpose? Give me a break. You think I did this on purpose? Give me a break. Which means, you think I did this on purpose? You think I did this deliberately? Come on, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be joking with me. Stop being ridiculous and meaningless. Stop exaggerating. I didn't do it on purpose. I know, now you're waiting for the next English phrase commonly used by native speakers. It is nothing else but, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. You can use this phrase when you want to say that you cannot believe something, or something is so unbelievable to you. So I'm not buying it is an emphatic way of saying, hey, I can't believe it. It is unbelievable to me. I can't believe it. An example: you accidentally forgot my birthday. I'm not buying it. You accidentally forgot my birthday. I'm not buying it. Which means you claim that you forgot my birthday accidentally. I can't believe it. That's unbelievable to me. I can't believe that you forgot my birthday accidentally. I'm not buying it. Alright, now let me focus your attention on the next commonly used conversational English phrase, which is don't play dumb. Don't play dumb. Don't play dumb. We use this phrase when we want to ask someone to stop behaving in a way that they think we believe they are stupid, we believe they are foolish. Or we can use this phrase to emphasize that we know that someone is not stupid or someone is not foolish, but someone is behaving in a way that they want to make us believe that they're stupid, foolish, or they don't know what to do, or they're behaving in a certain way because they don't know the right way to do it, despite the fact that we know, they know how to do it pretty well. In other words, don't play dumb means don't pretend to be dumb. Don't pretend to behave in a foolish way. Don't pretend to be stupid. We know that you're not stupid. We know that you're smart, clever, you know how to do something well, but don't play dumb. Don't act like foolish people. Don't act like the stupid. You know how to do things well. You're not stupid, you're clever, so don't play dumb. An example of this phrase: you know what you did. Don't play dumb. You know what you did. Don't play dumb. Which means you know what you did. Do not act like someone who doesn't know what they've done. Do not act like foolish people. Do not act like stupid people. You're pretty high IQ. You're smart, clever. You know what you've done pretty well. And you did know how to do it well. So do not pretend to act like those who do not know what they've done, who don't know anything. You do know everything, and stop behaving in a way that, you think we consider you a foolish individual. We don't consider you a foolish individual. We know that you know what you've done, and we know that you're pretending not to know anything. Or we know that you're pretending that you don't know what you've done. So stop pretending to be a stupid person. Stop pretending and just be honest. Don't play dumb. Now we get to the final phrase of today's video, commonly used by native speakers, which is, let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade. But what does this phrase mean? What does it mean when we say, let's call a spade? This phrase is used when we want to ask someone to be honest, direct, straightforward, and realistic. When we want someone to focus their attention on the realistic aspects of something. So let's call a spade. A spade is an English phrase used to emphasize that we want someone to be honest, straightforward, realistic, and we don't want them to be living in a dream world. We want them to focus their attention, focus their mind on the realistic aspects of a situation. An example of this phrase: he didn't just make a mistake, he lied. Let's call a spade a spade. He didn't just make a mistake, he lied. Let's call a spade. He didn't just make a mistake, he lied. Let's call a spade, which means we know that he's not just made a simple mistake that we can ignore or pass by easily. He's lied to us. It is nothing, minor that we should ignore. It is something significant that we have to take seriously. So he's not just made a simple mistake, he has lied to us. Let's call a spade, which means let's be honest, realistic, and let's face it, he's lied to us. Let's focus on the realistic aspects of the situation. And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like it in support of this channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing a couple of English idioms that are highly practical. They're used by native speakers on a frequent basis, which I believe you should learn to be able to improve your English or understand what native speakers say better. Are you ready? Of course you are. So let's start focusing on these idioms. The first English idiom is to push something to the back of your mind. To push something to the back of your mind. Once again, to push something to the back of your mind. But what does it exactly mean? I know now you might be wondering and thinking to yourself and saying, hey, what is the meaning of push something to the back of your mind? What does it exactly mean? What happens when you push something to the back of your mind? Well, to push something to the back of your mind means, well, when you push something to the back of your mind, you do your best not to remember something because it is upsetting, annoying, or disappointing. It is unpleasant enough for you not to think about it, not to keep remembering it, not to have it in mind. So when you push something to the back of your mind, you do your best to forget something, to try not to remember something because it is annoying enough for you not to think about it. An example of this phrase: she tried to push the memory of the accident to the back of her mind and focus on her studies. She tried to push the memory of the accident to the back of her mind and focus on her studies, which means she did her best not to remember the unpleasant memories of the accident and forget all about what happened in the past, and instead focus her attention and her energy on her studies. Now we get to the second English idiom that you must learn to be able to understand native speakers better, which is to make a name for yourself. To make a name for yourself. Once again, to make a name for yourself. What happens when you make a name for yourself? Well, when you make a name for yourself, you gain reputation for something. You become famous or well-known for something, usually through hard work and considerable success, usually through making a lot of effort. So when you make a name for yourself, you become famous and well-known for something, or you gain reputation for something as a result of something that you've done successfully. Let me give you an example of this phrase. He made a name for himself in the tech industry by developing a revolutionary app. He made a name for himself in the tech industry by developing a revolutionary app, which means he became so famous in the tech industry by developing a revolutionary app, or he gained reputation in the tech industry by developing a revolutionary app. Now we're getting to the third English idiom that you need to know to be able to understand native speakers better, or native English better, which is to have first call on something. To have first call on something. What happens when you have first call on something? What does it mean when we say someone has first call on something? To have first call on something means you're the one who has access to something first before others do. Or you're someone who has the right to choose something or use something first before others. In other words, you have priority access to something. You're the one who has the first access to something before others. So to have first call on something means to have priority access to something, or to be the one who has the right to access something before others do. An example of this phrase: as a senior manager, she has first call on the company's travel budget. As a senior manager, she has first call on the company's travel budget. As a senior manager, she has first call on the company's travel budget, which means as a senior manager, she's the first person that the company's travel budget is allocated to. She's the first person that has priority access to the company's travel budget. Now we get to the fourth English idiom that you need to learn and try to use to be able to speak a more native English or understand native speakers better when they use such idioms, which is: there isn't much call for something. There isn't much call for something. Once again, there isn't much call for something. But what does this phrase exactly mean? What does it refer to? Well, when we say there isn't much call for something, it means something is not highly needed. There's not a lot of demand for something. Something is not highly popular, and there's not a lot of demand for it accordingly, or it is not highly needed. People are not really looking for it, after it, or people, do not really need it. So there isn't much call for something means something is not highly in demand, or something is not highly popular, or there's not a lot of need for something. An example of this phrase: there isn't much call for typewriter repair services these days. There isn't much call for typewriter repair services these days, which means these days, or in this day and age, there's not a lot of demand for typewriter repair services. People do not really need the typewriter repair services these days, or, the need for it is not that significant, or this sort of service is not really popular, is not highly popular with people. Now we get to the fifth English idiom of today's video that you really need to know and learn to be able to understand a native friend of yours better when they use such an idiom, which is to talk through your hat. To talk through your hat. Once again, to talk through your hat. What happens when someone talks through their hat? Or what do we exactly mean by using the idiom of talk through your hat? Well, to talk through your hat means to speak foolishly, unwisely, or stupidly. Usually by talking about something that you don't know anything about, by talking about something without knowing anything about it, or by talking about something without thinking about it. So when one talks through their hat, they speak about something foolishly and stupidly without knowing what they're talking about, or by saying things that they don't know anything about. An example of this phrase: he was clearly talking through his head when he claimed that he could win the race without training. He was clearly talking through his head when he claimed that he could win the race without training, which means he was clearly talking about something that he didn't know anything about. He was clearly speaking stupidly and foolishly by talking about things without thinking about them, by saying things without thinking about them. And now we get to the final idiom of today's video that you gotta learn to be able to understand native speakers better when you talk to them or when you listen to them. They might use the idiom that I'm about to reveal in today's video as the sixth idiom of today's video that you need to know and learn to use to be able to understand them better, which is too good to be true. Too good to be true. Once again, too good to be true. What does it mean when we say something is too good to be true? Well, when we say something is too good to be true, it means something is so good, so beneficial, something is excellent in a way that we cannot believe it is this good. In other words, when we emphasize that something is too good to be true, what we mean is we cannot believe that something has the qualities that it claims it has because the qualities are so good, they're excellent, they're so unbelievably good. So too good to be true means something is so good, something is, let's say, so impressive that you cannot believe how impressive or good it is. You cannot trust it. You cannot believe that it has the same qualities as it claims it has. An example of this phrase: the job offer sounded too good to be true, so she checked if the company was legitimate. The job offer sounded too good to be true, so she checked if the company was legitimate. The job offer was too good to be true, so she claimed if the company was legitimate, which means the job offer was so good, like so unbelievably good, so she couldn't believe the truthfulness of the job position or the offer, so she checked if the company was legitimate. And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. Today we reviewed some highly practical and commonly used English phrases that you gotta learn to be able to understand native speakers better and not feel embarrassed when they use such idioms and phrases that you may have heard nothing of before, or you may not understand what they mean. Let's review these phrases once again together. Push something to the back of your mind. Push something to the back of your mind. Make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself. Have first call on something. Have first call on something. There isn't much call for something. There isn't much call for something. Talk through your head. Talk through your head. Too good to be true. Too good to be true. And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of this channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video.